Fellow Australians, my name is Chris Coyle. I'm the independent candidate for Ford. In this election, there is going to be a terrible and vicious fraud take place. The fraud is going to take place on the distribution of preferences in the counting rooms. And how it will take place is that after the primary count is done and all of the ballot papers are counted out into bundles of 50 in front of the candidates' names, the normal procedure is to pick up the ballot papers in front of the candidate who got the least primary vote. And then those preferences are distributed out to wherever the people want them to go to. Then, say, whoever came in fourth position, they get the same treatment, and whoever came in third position, they get the same treatment, and then usually, by that time, whoever came in first and second on the primary count, and one of them ends up winning. Now, at first you might think there's nothing untoward here, but consider this. Whoever gets the first and second place on the primary count holds the biggest amount of ballot papers, and those ballot papers are not allowed to be distributed. The preferences are not allowed to be handed on to anyone, and that is how Labor and Liberal stay in power. For example, if Liberal were to get into the first spot on the primary count, and just say on a sample of 1,000 ballot papers, 800 of their second preferences, the people's second preferences, could have been for candidate number 3, 4 or 5, but he will never see them because they are deliberately withheld and not allowed to be distributed. And say Labor falls into second position, and say Labor had 800 primary count, 600 of the 800 second preferences could very well have been for candidate 3, 4 or 5. But they will never see them either because they are withheld as well. Only the preferences from whoever comes in third, fourth, fifth, etc. are handed up to the major parties. But the major parties, as I said before, hold the bulk of the ballot papers and they are never distributed out to where the people want them to go. Now this is fraud, and it's also monetary fraud because the government makes billions in an election by being fraudulently elected in this manner. Also, for every candidate that gets above 4%, $2 of the people's money goes to that candidate. So it's a monetary fraud there as well. How do we solve this problem? The answer is we have to vote 1 for an independent or a minor party, put the incumbent last, and then if you feel like preferencing another major political party, put them second, third, etc. That way, if the independent or minor party candidate fails to win, second preferences will flow through to whoever comes first and second. But if you preference the minor parties second and preference the major party first, you can guarantee that at least 2 of the major parties will get into first and second place and your preferences will not be distributed. That's how they stay in power. For further information, you can contact me on air and TV at yahoo.com.au or 0403 441 631. Thank you.
Written and spoken and authorized by Chris Coyle, an independent candidate for Ford.